A lot of people get influenced by speakers. There are speakers all over the place, in schools, at work, public events, and churches. Today you get the chance to meet a speaker that gets the opportunity to reach out to young adults. The Humanities Mass Communication Department at Norwalk Community College presents Person to Person with your host, Lucas Duffy. You may be wondering, what's so interesting about being involved with young adults at Black Rock in Fairfield, Connecticut? We get to meet someone who impacts young adults all around Fairfield County who are eager to expand their faith and wisdom.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of Person to Person, the show that gives you an inside look into the lives of everyday people. Today we get the opportunity to meet someone who spends a lot of his time motivating and speaking wisdom into young adults' lives. I would like to introduce our guest today, Rob Guinta.
Thanks for having me, Austin. Glad to be here, man.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Yeah.
So, our first question here, where did you grow up?
So I grew up right down the road in the town of Fairfield, Connecticut, pretty nearby.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what college did you attend? And what was your major? What did you study?
Sure. So I studied at Palm Beach Atlantic University down in West Palm Beach, Florida. And after a few different major switches, landed on settling in ministry.
Ministry?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't even know that was something you could major in.
Yeah.
That's fun. So you majored in ministry. What's your job title currently then?
So recently my transition just switched between kind of leading the music at a church into now being the director of young adults, which we call our sanctuary service at Black Rock. Prime time, 6 o'clock, Sunday nights. There we go. It's great, man.
All right, that's interesting. And this is shocking to me because I never knew you could major in ministry.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago, I didn't know that. So I'm
learning together.
Yeah, I guess the next thing that I want to know is how did you wind up feeling motivated to pursue that path? What made you feel like this is the thing you wanted to do?
It's an excellent question.
Yeah.
So actually, while I was in my undergrad, I had a local church that just really profoundly impacted my life. And it got so much to the point where I looked back on my college experience and said, my experience as a college student and young adult would not have been the same if it wasn't for the local church reaching out to me and investing in me. So in the same way, when I moved up here and transitioned into this job with my wife, I thought, how can I set myself up in a position where young adults in the Fairfield County region that are especially attending college will look back on their career and say, my life would not be the same if it wasn't for the sanctuary ministry at Black Rock Church in Fairfield. So kind of a little bit long-winded, but that's sort of how I ended up where I am right now.
No, I think that is remarkably concise. I mean, it's not an easy thing to figure out what you want to do or, where you're going to go at such a young age when you're attending school. So, obviously that's a worthwhile thing to spend your time doing.
Sure.
And is this specific job something you see yourself doing for the rest of your life?
Yeah, so whether it's young adults, babies, to, people that are probably even older than me, I hope that I always have the ability and opportunity to invest in and build with and grow with all people, all ages. So I hope that young adults, that demographic remains consistent throughout time, but additionally, I'm here to love and care for all people.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't make sense to exclude the old people.
Yeah. Don't want to be ageist.
Yes, that's exactly right. So, obviously, that's a very ambitious long-term plan.
Sure.
So what types of goals do you set for yourself to keep yourself going and sort of keep yourself achieving sort of this goal of reaching out to other people?
Yeah. So honestly, I'd say that my goal is not just for me personally, but for the greater community as a whole. So
Right.
what we're trying to do at Sanctuary is create a culture of care, creativity, and compassion, or what we call that at Sanctuary is creating a culture of honor, mercy, and generosity. So if we can see that happen more in Fairfield County, if my name is forgotten but that is remembered here, we would have done our job. That's my goal, really.
Yeah, and it becomes, it transcends the individual. That's
Exactly.
That's a good way of organizing your ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a tough question.
Okay.
What is do you have a favorite thing about this job?
Oh,
This seems like a
man.
really tough, unfair question, but
My favorite thing about my job, that is a tough question. If I can narrow it down to one thing, it's definitely I'm in the business of people. I believe in all
Right.
people, and so my favorite thing is when I see young people, especially 18 to 35-year-olds, just kind of stepping into who Jesus has uniquely designed and created them to be, and stepping into that calling with peace and confidence, and walking alongside with Jesus in the process. So that's my favorite thing to see, for sure.
it does sound pretty good.
Yeah, man.
And I suppose what this next question is getting at is,
Okay.
what are some of the ways your job relates to the community around you? How do you exactly
Yeah.
go about your interactions with the community and
Yeah.
literally the mechanisms of reaching out, making that difference?
Yeah, so I think it is taking every opportunity we can to serve people around us. So, like, literally my job is to serve all people. Like, a promotion for me is being able to get lower and serve maybe in dirtier places where people are unwilling to go, get my hands dirty. So right now, like, unfortunately, when I came up here, I noticed that there's just sort of this missing demographic with churches reaching out to college students. So a large part of what we do is working, especially with Sacred Heart University and Fairfield University in Fairfield, Connecticut,
Right, yes.
kind of our neighbors. So we're like, let's first start by serving our neighbors who's right next to us, who's in our immediate sphere and vicinity. And then additionally, from there, we want to build into younger generations as well. So a huge part of what we do by empowering our local community is serving elementary through high school students in the P.T. Barnum district of Bridgeport through this organization that Sanctuary started about 15 years ago called Urban Impact. So after school tutoring programs, basketball leagues,
Oh, nice.
working with families, and we don't want to just come in and say this is how things need to be done. We love working with parents. More often than not, it's a bunch of single mothers. So working with them, finding out their needs and serving them and meeting them where they are. So I think that those are maybe just a couple of the biggest ways that we see ourselves as this is how we need to serve our community right now.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty effective. In terms of going back to what you said earlier,
Yeah.
in terms of providing that service for other people
Yeah.
that, relates to how you felt at that point in your life where you were trying to figure out what you wanted to do and how
Yeah.
helpful the church was. I mean, that sounds exactly like
Right.
what you're aiming for.
It's good, man.
And you've already mentioned this a little bit
Cool.
about the
Swing back around.
sort of how you might be looking to accomplish your goals and what
Okay.
a promotion is for you, but what kind of legacy
Ooh.
do you feel like you would want to leave behind?
Awesome. That's a big question. I love the word choice there too of legacy. Like I don't want to just create a dynasty. I don't want it to just be about me. I want it to be, again, if my name is forgotten, but I'm thinking big here. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people are affected by the goodness of Jesus, And if his name is remembered in a better light than it is right now, I would have done my job.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in almost every question you answered. It's
Cool.
It's all about reaching out, and that makes
Loving
all the
people.
sense in the world to me.
Yeah,
So
man.
very well spoken.
Awesome. Thank you, Austin.
So, today we got to meet Rob Guinta, who's the director of young adults at Black Rock Church. He shared with us a little bit about himself, and we got a chance to explore a little bit about what he does and his plans moving forward. I would like to thank Rob for being with us today.
Oh, awesome.
Rob.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, it was fun. Come back anytime. I would like to also thank you for watching. Make sure to tune in next time for another inside look into a member of society sharing their purpose and occupation. Thank you, and have a great day.
Is that a wrap?
Yeah, that's
Cool. Nice, man.
This has been Person to Person with your host, Lucas Duffy. Our guest today was Rob Guinta. The Person to Person is a Norwalk Community College student production.